Hello everybody, how are you? Welcome to another video. Now, we are doing another Warden. I apologize, I'm just a loser and I can't help myself. I love playing Warden, the most trash class in the game. I just cannot help myself. Warden's too fun. But, we're gonna do another video. A different gear set. A little bit similar to my last build, but a couple different changes. And, yeah. I can't help myself, guys. I'm addicted to Warden. It's so fun, even though it sucks, but it is what it is. Before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm about to put a robot on my track just to say that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Okay. Now, I've been testing this a lot. It's a super fun build. And that's pretty much it. We're going to go over the gear. We're going to go over the skills. We're going to go over the character screen. We're going to go over the CP. And I'm going to go over the replacement gear if you do not have access to what I prefer. That's pretty much it. Yeah, please subscribe. Get me more subs. I don't want to be a loser with 1K subs anymore. Please. But anyways, let's just get into it. So the character screen. We're going to start with... So we have 26k magic. 26k magic. Not too shabby, not amazing, but you really don't need a lot of magic anymore. It's not that big of a deal. So we have 38k health, very good. We have 17,500 stamina. I feel like lately I've been really wanting to run a lot of stamina on a magic build. It's nice to be able to roll and break free and not have to be worried about your stamina recovery and whatnot. So it's nice. I like, that's why I use Bewitched Sugar Skulls. So magic recovery is 1400. It's obviously going to be higher when you use a potion, and then it's going to be higher as well with your netch. So that's nice. It's about, I don't know what it gets up to with the pot, like 1800, and then your netch is like 2000. So that's good. The spell damage right now is 3000. It doesn't really, trust me, it gets way higher because we get 450, and then we get 600. So, and then so we get like almost 2,000 more spell damage, which is insane. Actually, no, we get like 2,500 more spell damage. So this can go up to 5,500, almost 6,000 when we're fully buffed from our sets and whatnot. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy how much higher my spell damage can get here. But don't worry about the 3,000 as it is, because the sets are going to really going to push that way higher. And then our resistances are pretty good as well. 29k spell and 27 physical. Lately I've been running like 21, 22, 23. And I cannot run that little bit resistance. Like, I need more. It's not enough. I just can't do it. I have to have like 26 at least. So 26 at least is very good. Can be very tanky at that. And yeah, the spell resistance also gets up to the cap at 32 or 33 with your Breton passives, so that's good. Like I said, I'm using Bewitched Sugar Skulls, but for me, it's the best food. I don't really like, I don't want to change it. I have no interest in changing it. There's another whatever one gives you the magic and health food is good as well, but this is just the best for me. I can't get rid of it, so I'm gonna keep using it. The Atronach is our Mundus. You know, it's the best for me as well. We're using ESO Plus member. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, stupid ESO Plus. They don't deserve my money, but they get it anyways. And then Vamp Stage 3. Vamp Stage 3 is definitely the vibe right now. Everybody's Vamp. There's really no reason, so you have to. Now, I just realized something. Lately, I've been complaining about DKs, how hard they hit with Molten Whip and stuff, and I seem to forget that I take almost 15% more flame damage. So I for some reason that doesn't cross my mind that's part of the reason why DKs are so freaking good. It's because everybody's a vamp, so everybody's taking 13% more damage. So pretty much like DKs are getting Major Berserk and Minor Berserk almost at the same time on everybody. I don't really think about it often, but now that it now makes a lot of sense why DKs are hitting so hard. So part of me wants to get rid of it, but like at the same time, that undead passive is just crazy good. So I just can't make myself do it. And then you see my sexy little Zon restoration staff. Dude, that's my favorite staff in the game. It's so nice. And then the other, I believe this is Abner Tharn's staff. Beautiful, beautiful style. My favorite. But anyways, let's get right into the gear. So on the front bar, we are using a Master Ice Staff. Now, you have the options here. As you know, It reduces the cost of destructive touch by 10% and increases your weapon and spell damage by 600. So basically, you can keep this up pretty much at all times, which is very, very nice. You can also use it and swap to your other bar, which is also very, very nice. It does a decent amount of damage. Damage isn't great. The skill itself isn't amazing, but the buff is really, really good. Now, another option, like I was going to mention, is Master Inferno Staff you could use. The problem with the Master Ice Staff is, although it's better for Warden, I think, than anything else, the main issue that comes in is that it isn't a hard CC, it's just an immobilize, which is nice. It's a really big trolling skill. It's really annoying, and the Master Ice applies major maim, so that's really good, but the Master Inferno is probably better for setting up your burst, because if you use it right before Deep Fissure, they really don't have a choice but to get absolutely wrecked by it. So, and it applies burning, so it's another dot. But again, that's totally up to you. I don't know. It's really, really, really for your discretion. So yeah. But I'm using Ice. I'm also using Sharpen. You could use Nirnhone too. Nirnhone's very good. You could use Charge as well. Charge is another good one now. So yeah. And then on the back bar, we are using Clever Alchemist. Now, I'm not even going to lie. As much as I played ESO over the years, I've never used Clever Alchemist, which is insane to me because it's like the best set in the game. What is, like, yeah, call me stupid in the comments. Now that I've used this, like, I've realized why everyone uses it. It's so freaking good. It's insane. Like, it's so good. The damage is ridiculous. Like, 700 spell damage, like, come on now. It's incredible. The two lines of health are perfect for Warden. You get the spell damage and everything. It's just a crazy, crazy good set. So, if you don't know what it is, I assume everyone does, but when you drink a potion during combat, you get a rush of energy, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 675 for 20 seconds. 20 seconds is a very long time, and created by Magoogan. Shout out to my boy Magoogan. He just retired from ESO, he says. He claims he gave me all his gear, all his gold, all his mats, so I'm about to be a rich man, but shout out to Magoogan. Anyways, so yeah, Clever Alchemist on the back bar. Restoration Staff, you could also use two-hand if you really, really want to. Where is it? My brain's not working. Here we go. You could use two-handed. I tried two-hand. I mean, you get more spell damage out of it. You get actually not just some. You get a lot more spell damage out of it because you get the 200 just from having a sword, and then you get another 284 from the two-hand passives. So it is very useful if you want to run 2H here, and then you could also run Rally as your heal. So that is very good as well. You know, you could use Rally as a burst heal, but I didn't find much success with that. I always just play better with a Resto. I'm more comfortable. The heavy attacking for magic is a great thing. It's just more comfortable for me. So, and I also feel like rapid regen's a necessity. So that's why I use Restoration Staff instead of two-hand. But two-hand is a good option, so just keep that in mind. So the monster set, we're using Balorg. Very good. I'm using medium on the head because I have enough armor as it is, and I'd like to get a little bit more spell damage. So I just use the two of the medium. You could use heavy, whatever. I think Balorg's probably the best in slot for me when it comes to a Magden. Another good set, or another good option is Magma Incarnate, but I didn't use Magma Incarnate because we already have so much armor as it is. I don't really feel the need to push the armor even higher. Like, it was a point when I was using Gates of Sithis, I was like, why am I using this? Like, I don't need this much armor. It was just stupid of me. So I am using Balorg. Don't get me wrong, I just want you to know here, currently, I'm using one piece of Balorg. I have switched back and forth, using Balorg, not using Balorg. I have been going back and forth with it. Now, right now, I have preferred the Master Staff and no Balorg, because Master Staff pretty much has 100% uptime, Balorg doesn't. That's pretty much where I rationalized with that. Now, if you want to, feel free to completely drop the Master Ice Staff, use Hrothgar on the front bar, and then use Balorg as a monster set. It's totally up to you. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You could even drop your Mythic, use a Master Staff, and Balorg. Like, it is up to you. So just think about it, you know, whatever you want to do. So that kind of gives it away. The other 5-piece we're using is Hrothgar. Now, we don't really have a choice. We have to have Hrothgar up at all times. It is what it is. It would be better as a front bar set, but like I said, I'm using a Master Staff, so I have to drop the, you know, the one-piece monster, or the one-piece monster set. Now for me, so far, it's working out better, not having Battle Org and just using the Master Staff. But again, totally up for your discretion. So the other 5-piece we're using is Hrothgar, and then the back bar is Clever Alchemist. So Clever Alchemist, you're going to want to get reinforced on the chest, legs, and feet if you can. That's probably ideal with the heavy armor. And then you can get a combination of well-fitted, impen, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then for our mythic, we are using Sea Serpent's Coil. Now I have protective on it, not ideal. You're going to want to probably use Bloodthirsty, Infused, whatever you want. I mean, protective isn't the worst thing in the world, so I kept it for now. I don't have enough transmute crystals at the moment, but at some point I will change it. It's pretty good. It's really good in BGs for me. Like, I just hold my ground. You get so much spell damage from it. Like, how I see it in my mind and how I justify using this is, although you do get a damage, a snare to yourself, which is really good for the other team. You get the snare, but if you use Major Expedition, like if you use Bird of Prey, it almost offsets it. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, you're getting Major Berserk, which is 10% damage done, and 430 spell damage. So, like, how I see it is, if I put it in perspective, Malakath is 16% damage done, right? But you lose half of your crit damage. For a Sea Serpent, you're getting 10% damage, but you're not losing any crit damage. So that alone is probably just as good as Malakath, and you're getting 430 spell damage. So the damage is like way higher in total on the Sea Serpent, I think, compared to like using a Malakath. But just so you know, you can use Malakath here. You could totally drop Sea Serpent and use a Hrothgar necklace, drop one of the Hrothgar rings, and put on Malakath. Malakath is very good. It's going to free you up a slot on your skills because you won't have to use Green Lotus for crit. You don't have to do crit damage really. You're just there to do more base damage. So that's another good thing. If you want, you could also use Death Dealer instead. I didn't find damage being good enough with Death Dealer. I mean, it really helps with my health and my sustain, but it didn't make a big difference for me in terms of damage, so I stuck with Sea Serpent. It really, really helped me. It's a great one. But like I said, you don't even have to use a mythic at all. You could use Hrothgar, Clever Alchemist on the back bar, use Balorg, and then have a Master Staff. But for now, this is what I have. Master Staff front bar, Clever Alchemist back bar, 1-piece monster set, and then we have the mythic. So you have a lot of options for mixing and matching. Just to sum it up, you could use no mythic, and then you could have 2 5-pieces, a Master Staff, and then a monster set. Or you could run a mythic of your choosing. You could use Master Staff, no monster set, and 2 5-pieces. Or the last option is using no Master Staff. So then you're going to be using a mythic, 2 5-pieces, and then a monster set. So you can mix and match as you please. Just, I apologize if that confused you at all. If you have any questions about your gear choices, please comment down below. So again, like I said, you're probably going to want to have Infused on all these if you can. Infused, Bloodthirsty, it's up to you. But Infused is probably the best in slot, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's how I feel. So that's the gear, guys. I know it's a lot to take in. It's a lot of information, but I think it's important. So we'll move on to the skills. So on the front bar, we are using Crystallized Slab. This skill just hits different. I tried using the other morph of it. Crystallized Shield, I think, is the other version. But this, I tried playing without this skill, and this skill just is nasty. Like, first of all, it's only 3,600, which isn't that expensive. And by the time all the projectiles are absorbed, you're getting 2,400 magic back. The skill only costs 1,200 really to use, and you're going to be doing like 18k total damage to people, and you stun everybody it hits. Like, it's a crazy good skill, and it's amazing for 1vxing. I've noticed, in my opinion, especially with Sea Serpent, you're going to be snared. So having Crystallized Shield, you are going to be a slow-moving target. So you're going to want to play around a pillar, wall, something where you can kite and not have to move too much. And then you have Crystallized Slab, so if people are sitting there snipe spamming you, Sorks or Crystal fragging you, Like, you have this to just sit there and, first of all, you're countering them instantly, so they're going to get pissed off and be like, I don't even want to attack this guy because he's just going to freaking do damage to me just for myself, and I'm going to stun myself. People get pissed off at this skill. It absorbs a shit ton of damage, and it does a lot of damage. It offers so much for your build. It's a very good skill. I would never drop this. Like, I literally will drop a burst heal on my bar just to have this skill, which is what I did. And this skill works for better for me, having HOTS. So, Deep Fissure, ew, that tooltip is hideous. Let me buff. Okay, so as you can see, it's only 11k right now, but like I said, you get literally over 2,500 more spell damage on this build. So this tooltip's probably up to 14k at some point. It's a crazy good skill. It's really cheap. It's only 2,200, so that's really nice. And then you apply Major and Minor Breach, so you're getting a crap ton of penetration. Now, we already have 5,500, we'll say, so we get another, I don't know, we'll say 6,000 plus 3,000 just to round up a little bit. So we're getting another 9,000. Shoot, we got like 14,000 penetration when you do it in an AoE too. Very, very good. Incredible. And that's something to note too. This build has really good area of effect damage because of Hrothgar, Deep Fissure, Northern Storm, so it has a lot of potential. So we're using Bird of Prey for the movement speed. You get 5%, you get the Minor Berserk, and then you get the 2% from Animal Companion, so very, very nice. Like I said, you are getting Minor and Major Berserk on this build, so you get it from Sea Serpent, and then you get the Minor Berserk from Bird of Prey, so really nice. And then we're using Frost Clench. Like I said, you could use Flame or Frost, whatever you want to use. I like Frost for now just because I'm a Warden, but it does 30... I don't know, like 4k maybe? Yeah, 3,700 before all your buffs. It applies the chilled status effect, which is really nice, and it immobilizes, and the best part about it, it inflicts major maim for 5 seconds, reducing their damage done by 10%. You're going to be using this skill constantly, so you're essentially going to be applying major maim to people constantly, so that was another thing that was something to note that helped me a lot as well. It really, really does help you 1vx because it reduces people's damage. So it's really nice. Crushing Shock we are using as our spammable. Now I have in my past few builds been using Arterial Burst or Blood for Blood, but I find a lot more success with Crushing Shock just because it's ranged. I find myself with Eviscerate, Arterial Burst, whatever, dying because I have to get so close to people to hit them. Although it hits harder and it's cheaper and it has cool effects, it's not worth it for me because Crushing Shock is ranged. So I don't really have to get too close to people. They have to push me, and that's probably my favorite thing about it. And, you know, you can stun people at range with Slab, so I do find more success being further away. I do like the Interrupt on Sorks, and it's cheaper than the other morph, so I use this. But you could easily just use Force Pulse, whatever you want. I like Crushing Shock, so that's why I use it. I don't like this skill at all. It's a little bit more expensive, and it's just so wonky. Like, it's just clunky as heck, so I don't use it. And then we're using Northern Storm as the ult. You know, I want to get rid of it, but like every time I use Ice Comet, I find myself coming right back to Northern Storm. I don't know why. It does so much damage. People run away. They're like, I don't want to fight you, and they just like a get out of jail free card. And it snares people. Like, you can just do so much AoE damage, and it's almost like a built-in battle org. So wait, so I kind of like. That's kind of why another reason I don't use a monster set is because like. Your ultimate is pretty much a built-in Balorg. Now, it does stack really well with Balorg if I was using it, but you get 300 spell damage for 30 seconds. You can literally get your ult back in 30 seconds. So, like, you can pretty much have 300 spell damage totally at all times. So, that's why I said your spell damage gets pushed up so much higher on this build. So, that is the reason I use Northern Storm. And you get major protection during it, too. It just offers so much for you. So, the back bar, Ice Fortress. You need this, Minor Protection. You always need this, no debate. So we are using Rapid Regen. Like I said, I prefer Rapid Regen over the other version just because it's so much better for myself. I'm selfish, sorry, sue me. It's just so good. With Living Trellis and Rapid Regen up together, your dot, I always say dot heals, but that doesn't make sense. Your HOTS, healing over time, is just so good together. Like, it's just so much healing from these two skills. And then Living Trellis does that nice burst heal at the end, so does 56 without a non-crit. I don't know what it does crit, if I ever crit. Maybe I'll crit. Oh my god, 9,000 crit. I mean, that's really good, and that's before we have any buffs going at all. Like, I literally have no spell damage buffs going. I don't have a Master Staff going. I don't have Clever Alchemist going. I don't have Northern Storm going. I don't have any of that. So, like, you get so much more healing. So I just use this as my burst heal, and it works wonders for me. I have no complaint whatsoever. Like, Rapid Regen and Living Trellis, and then Green Lotus is enough for me. And then on the front bar, we have this to negate any projectiles anyways, so it doesn't matter. So, for me, Living Trellis and Rapid Regen are like the deadly duo. It works so well. I don't need to get rid of it. There's no need. It's so cheap. It's like the cheap burst heal compared to like Arctic Wind, which is almost 5k, and then Combat Prayer, which is like 5k too. So it's like half the cost for a bunch of healing. Really good. So Green Lotus, really good skill as well. That's why I also use Sea Serpent, because I just want to use this skill. It's such a good skill. You get your Prophecy and Savagery, and then you get 1800 every light attack, and then you get 5200 for heavy attack. Now, it's only 1100, so it's like almost free. And then it really stacks well with the Resto passive here. So you heal yourself or an ally for 57% of the damage with the final tick of a heavy attack. So you're getting a heal out of that as well. So it stacks well with Green Lotus. You get some beefy heals out of this. I feel for like 6k in BGs with this before with a crit. Really good. It's a really, really good skill. You're getting a lot of passive healing from just sitting there like weaving and fighting. You're getting like 900 like every second. It's not too bad. So it's a really good skill. And then we're using Blue Betty. Gives you recovery, gives you a cleanse, gives you spell damage. Amazing skill. It's free. You can also just sit there, a tip. So say you have Sea Serpent, right? And you're playing around this pillar. Let's say the enemies are that way where I'm shooting. So if you have Sea Serpent going, you can kind of just, if you have like, let's say you have Plague Break or Noxious Breath or something hitting you don't want, you can kind of just sit behind, like you put your heels up, get your heels up, kind of kite back and forth, and then you can just sit there like this. You get heals from it, you cleanse everything, and your heals will probably get you back up to full. And that's also why I use Enchanted Forest, because like if I'm playing around a pillar like this, I can play essentially around the entire pillar and keep getting my heals. So it works really well. So that's how I tank it out. And then we're using Healing Thicket, like I said. It's just really cheap. You could use Life Giver as well. But I find myself, when I'm in a really tough situation, I'm sitting there looking at my ult, and I'm like, please, please, hurry. Please, I need the heal, I need the heal. And Life Giver is a little too expensive for me, so it never comes. Now, having Healing Thicket is super cheap. So it's only 97, even cheaper if you're not a vamp. So being able to just not have to worry about that, and then getting that quick Healing Thicket really saves my life. So yeah, that is what I'm using, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if you have any suggestions. I take very kindly to criticism and any improvements that I can or cannot make. If you think the build is solid, let me know. If you think the build is meh, let me know. If you think the build looks fun and different, let me know, because I do try to make some unique, fun builds for people. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the gameplay. And yeah, have fun, guys. See you later. Oh, wait. I am so sorry. Just for reference, CP. Fighting Finesse, crit damage. Master at Arms, Fighting Aura, Enduring Resolve is not on my bar. Don't ignore that. And Cutting Defense. Cutting Defense, Fighting Aura, Master at Arms, Fighting Finesse. And then real quick. Relentlessness, Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, and Peace of Mind. That is my CP. Do with what you wish with that information. Anyways, have a good one, everybody. And I hope to see you soon. And I'll be streaming too soon. I'm gonna stream soon. Gameplay coming. Tier list coming. Have a good one.